There she is. How you doing, Kemp?
Good.
Good painting. I liked your Pisa painting.
I had so much blue paint. I was looking through my photos and I had thought, shall I try this? And then I looked at Kyle Ma
Oh yeah,
and to try to get my head around painting a building and not getting too crazy about it.
right. You did great on that building. Really did.
So that's what I've been up to.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, you can't go wrong with him. He's pretty damn good.
No, he's really good. And then I found another one. Do you know this one? Hang on a minute. He's in New Jersey. I don't know how I never heard of him. Patrick Okrasinski, is that his name? Hang on.
Oh yeah, he does a lot of street scenes, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does a lot of street scenes. Well, he does a lot of everything, but he's got some pictures of buildings too and
Yeah, yeah,
statuary and things. So
yeah. He's good.
he's also very good.
Yeah, yeah. Those guys, good stuff to look at. And
Yeah.
that's half the thing is um, about painting is going out there and uh, seeing what's out there and not being scared to look at other people's work and like it. That's the thing is you look at it and you try to pick it apart and try to come up with how the hell did they do that,
Hmm.
and that's all it is, just finding out how they did it. uh, and that's why sometimes I'll see a painting somebody did and keep it in the back of my mind, and then when I come across a photo that kind of reminds me of it, I go, oh, I can make this photo almost that painting. I wonder if I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I do a lot here in class and stuff too. So, but you guys, I don't, a lot of them aren't that, you know, that big a deal. So it's like, okay, not, like doing John Singer Sargents, except
I've
for
done a lot
we
of
don't do his
those.
we don't do his people. We just do his some
Hmm.
landscapes and stuff he does. Um, anyway, let's see. What do we got going today? Oh, we got an interesting one, don't we? Well, let's go. Let me pull out my last week's cold one. I can find it in here. What? Oh, the boat, cold boat, the ice boat, ice, whatever. Uh, yeah. A lot of blues and purples in it. Lucky the boat was green, or it would be pretty boring. Um, you know, uh, you guys all did a really pretty great job on this. I was really happy with every way everybody was turning out. I always am gonna probably harp on edges, even though you know, keeping these edges soft around the back and stuff. You can keep them a little bit sharper right in here, but even a lot of people right here at the bottom of the boat, people had hard edges. And I'm talking just a slightly blurred edge. Uh, and that's about it. So you got only a few kind of harder edges around here to grab some light. And then everything else is kind of modeled, just a hair modeled. And usually it's not with even with a finger, it's just a tiny brush. You're just touching the edge of the paint. And when you do a paint stroke, you're going to get uh it's a shape. It's not just a line. You're not just usually you're going to get a shape. And there's a bottom to the shape and the top to the shape. You when I say soften, I mean soften both sides. You got to sometimes have to do both and not really, ruin the shape, but just soften it in that edge on both
Jim,
sides of the
Jim,
shape.
what brush? Could you hold up the brush that you would use to just touch? I just want to see what size and what kind of brush you would use to do. Okay, so pretty small,
Pretty small, very thin, you know,
right?
and I'll just go in there and just touch it. Some things are bigger back in here. The
Yeah.
spots you want maybe blend out. You can use a finger or a little bit bigger brush. But this one I was using to come back in here and just do these guys. I probably did that one line too much. Was blurred it out of there. But anyway, that's what we did. You guys, like I said, did probably a better job than I did. Okay. Going on. Yeah, that was cold, right? That one was very cold. Got a lot of blues, a lot of things. So you're not wasting paint. We're gonna go do the warm side, so we have equal balance here. This warm side, we're gonna do a little bit different. We're gonna do a landscape size of a painting. I'm doing a landscape. I asked, the class to, as one of the things in the supply list, to, grab one of these. Usually get a pack of 3, or I do, but you can get them in one, or you can do the other side. I did the more square version, a 12 by 16 square version of this thing, where I cropped this photo a little bit more. I cropped it off, back in here. That's okay. You can do both, and you can use this, and you can also take things from this one and just squish them together any way you like. So it's just don't be too stuck to the photos you get. We want to paint better than the photos, so take the best things from it and try to really enhance those. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be doing this because I do like doing landscapes like this. They just are more unique, and if you get them and go into a show, a unique size like this kind of stands out. So you get a little bit more, people look at it longer, stuff like that. Get a better chance of getting it in the show because it looks different than whatever but the judge has already seen in those shows. So that's how I do it. I don't do it very often, but once in a while. Okay. Let's go. Let's pull up in this one and talk about it. Okay. Black and white version. Yeah, this is an interesting shot because it is value wise, grays wise, it's kind of in the mid tones. It's not. There's really I think 3 is about the brightest you need really to go for all this stuff. You could do with, of course I hit 2. Okay, 3s and 2s, but I would say stay close to a 3, maybe. Yeah, even in here, you're gonna try to keep those at a 3 value. Everything else is pretty much, there's really no blacks. They're pretty much, everything's 8s, pretty much for the tree and some of the brush, and then pretty much everything else. The horses themselves values pretty much at 7. Maybe grading to a 6, and then same with this guy here, the big old cactus here, and these cactus back there. Pretty much, right? You could drop those guys down to a 6 if you're doing the horses at a 7. Do those guys as a 6, or just to trying to get some variations, because you're gonna have to have. Sorry about this. Just looking at this one more time. I would, that's really not an 8. That I would make this a 7. The trees, a 7. Horses, a 6. And even the ground right around a 6, 7. That way you have a separation of values. So these guys aren't going to be too close together. Even if we can try to separate them with color, I'd like to be able to separate them with, a little bit with value too. So even these guys back in here, you might even take those 2 6s. The cactuses back there. All right. Color wise, this is an interesting one because this is one I was looking at and going, man, this is like a very limited palette. Could be definitely limited. I mean, you could take transparent oxide and probably blue and a little bit of maybe a cad red and paint this thing. I mean, you could pretty much easily paint this thing with those those three, well, with white, those colors. So we will be looking at that. I'm going to put in a little phthalo green, of course, because I could see, I'm going to start off with the blue when I mix my colors. I'll start off with the blue and transparent oxides, and maybe if I think I'll get a green I should be able to get a green out of them, and I should be able to get some purples for this.
I know you don't like umber, but
you could use umber. You could use umber if you want to.
Okay.
The color I'll be making will end up being like an umber. That's the only thing I like to do is just try to add two colors together to make that color. That way I have a little bit more I can spread it out and I can get the green side, I can get the brown side, in between. So that's all I'm looking at. Horses, blow these guys up. Okay, horses. This is a little weird tangent right here where you have the tree and the neck, the horse's head and everything kind of lining up. No, that's a big no for painters and stuff. So I would either, slide the horse this way or whatever, but you don't want things like this lining up because that's to me that's disgusting. All right. You don't do that. So don't do it. And even when I do it, I got to go back in and fix things. I mean, you could bring the horse over a little bit more, as long as he doesn't line up, there's a separation or there's an overlay. That's better. But to have it, these things line up, gives me the willies. Little things about horses. Again, I'll go through the little my little perspective on horses. The width of their head is pretty much it for these horses. There's going to be probably the same width here as their head. This is going to be the same width as the head. The height of a horse, these horses, are going to be pretty close to, 2 3/4 heads. So just little things like that. So when you get this head measurement, you can get all the rest of those. Okay.
You read my mind.
Okay. So we'll just think about that. You can sort of see how that measurement kind of comes through here. And again, color wise, kind of muted. And this is one where, because I was just mentioning about soft edges. This is one where we're going to probably paint the background in a little bit earlier instead of, we're not going to paint the tree in till the end, but I'm thinking about painting everything else in. Hey, look at that guy. So you got that guy too. Painting everything in and then painting in the darks at the end. That way we have a little bit of more room we can move some things around so we don't, if you do a good job on that horse, you don't have to you can slide that, you can slide this thing over a little bit. It doesn't have to be quite like that or, just don't want that, Mark.
Jim, what about the other horse? It looks like there's a gray set of branches because he's behind a second tree.
Yeah, I know that
it's tricky that I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, yeah. If you wanted to get rid of,
The
it's
second
one
tree.
one or the other. You can't have the two things. It looks like its back end is
A tree.
a tree here. Sorry. You can barely see a different change in. You have to pull it in that close. So you have to have at least a bigger, better, a stronger value change. The horse could be darker, or and the the tree could go just a hair lighter, that kind of thing, and then it will work. But you still might get, that from a distance. That's the thing, is when you get, even from when you step away from painting like 5-6 feet, sometimes these things will just blend together, and so this could be a problem. I mean, you could take that horse. Horses aren't too hard to draw. You can use that other horse for the back legs here. You can sort of see how how the back legs go. You can take the legs off that one and put them on this one,
And
pretty
move it
much.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, and move them forward a little bit.
Mm.
Just to get them out of. I mean, the beauty of this is it's a great photo. All right, it's a great photo, and not always photos. Great photos don't always turn into great paintings. Just because they have everything there for you, doesn't mean they're gonna. It's sometimes you get stuck with the photo a little bit. So if you slide that horse out a little bit, you know, or if you wanted to even take that one out, if that one's a problem, take it out, use its head over on this one, slide this one back a hair. If you took that one out, you could slide this one back, back enough to get in there. And, you don't really need that extra horse. That's only, if you want to, what's in here. Just like any photo, you grab and use what you want. Two horses are interesting, but I just don't sometimes. Okay, I'm going to paint it in, but I'm going to always, since it's oils, if I don't like it at the end, I'll just paint it out. I'll just bring in the background back in here. It'd be easy to do, and just paint it out really easy. And then maybe, make sure this guy stands out a little bit better. Like I said, move him back a half inch. It'd be fine. As long as he's not equal spacing between these guys, make sure he's a little bit forward, so not too even. That's the half thing, is making sure that they're past that halfway point. We don't have them an equal space in between those two things. So, I was just a hair too far. Uh, and he'd probably be in a, a better spot in the painting too. He wouldn't be quite in the middle. He'd be slide off a little bit back to the back end. So, I'm gonna look at it. It's just a lot of it's gonna be just a little bit of play too as we go. Any big questions here? Okay, long, skinny. Like I said, I sent you the other version where it's kind of like cropped it a little bit for you. You can still use the big one and this one and crop it any way you want, or move some things around. Whatever you can do. All right, like I said, this could be a limited palette, but we're going to start off with it not thinking that way, but it might end up being that. That's what I'm just saying. So colors could go, when you do a limited palette, these things can be have a lot more power, because you're not looking for extra colors. You're just really working warms and cools of the values, and that usually can do a great job too. So, all right. One second. Let's see. Tracy's here. Hi, Tracy. Okay. Let's head over if you have any questions, you have to unmute yourself. I'm sorry, I had to mute everybody. And so if you want to unmute yourself and ask questions, you can do that. All right. Doggone, I got to get this out here. All right. We are going on to one second. I started talking at the beginning of class and I forgot to put in my put on my last phone. I put my phone on here. So of course it's I get 1 second, I'm sorry.
Recording in progress.
Sorry about that. Thought just the way this class goes, I always feel like I have everything under control, everything's set. I got everything printed out. I'm ready to go. And of course, yeah, I'm not. You guys have been really good about not calling me on it. Okay, placing spotlight. Here we go. All right, my palette. Let me slide this over a little bit more for it to show the colors. All right. My kit, my palette, and things. First of all, colors are laid out. I lay them out this way. You guys can lay them out any way you guys are used to. This is just what I'm used to. I have titanium white, cad yellow, light, cad red light, cad orange. This is gold ochre. It's kind of old, but it's been on the palette for a while. And this is regular ochre. Found some regular ochre finally. This is red oxide light. It could also be Terra Rosa or a Venetian, but I like red oxide light. Just not as warm as Terra Rosa, not as cool as Venetian. It's kind of a little bit more in between. This color here is alizarin crimson, permanent alizarin crimson, or what I use is Rose Madder Deep by Rembrandt, because I get Rembrandt colors and they don't have alizarin crimson. And Rose Madder Deep's pretty much their color there. My blue is cobalt blue hue from Utrecht. I like that color. It doesn't cost as much as cobalt. Gives you a good color like cobalt, but it doesn't cost as much as cobalt. And it's one of the darker blues out there. So I don't have too many very dark colors on my palette. And you need to have a few if you're not going to be using black. Phthalo green on the blue side. And this over here is transparent oxide red. So I got oxide red light and transparent oxide. This is our opaque. This is transparent. Two colors, totally different. This is a lot warmer. This is more of a yellow. This is like burnt sienna, but a little bit more yellow than burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is just a touch more red. Up here, I have some cad red medium. Probably I had it out, and as you can see, I haven't used it. So, but I have it out. That's the thing, is you have it out. I have some big brushes I'll be using. This is a big synthetic. I'll be doing pretty much the beginning of the painting with it, a lot of it. Big bristles brushes are going to be needed for softer bushes, all the bushes and everything else, and then some softer bristles will be needed to take you home and blend out a few things. And then you're gonna need a few really kind of decent synthetics just to get you home on some of the trees and the horses themselves. So put those guys away. I'm gonna leave that. Oh, that's dirty.
James, did you have Cad Orange out?
I do have cat orange right
Oh,
here.
that one, it looked a little darker on the screen. I just wondered. Thanks.
No, it's not darker on my screen. You're-
Maybe mine needs cleaning.
Anyway. All right. So and then this is my my little trusty paint eraser I make. Stuff that will be help whenever I need to pull off paint. This is a lot better than pulling it off with this thing. I can, I cut these what are these spatulas, these rubber spatulas. I just cut them with the scissors and able to make them all little angles, different sizes, so I can get in there and clean up whatever I need to clean up. Besides just scraping off with a palette knife, that thing will take it down to back to canvas where I'm painting wet into wet. Much better. My oil, my medium again, safflower oil. Put that out here, and then we'll get mixing colors. All right, colors. This isn't too bad a printout, really. Let me see, pull it up on my screen here again. Yeah, it's really quite good, in fact. Oh, and so I'll be able to use, I won't have to look over the screen too much. Anyway, some of the dark, we're gonna mix up some dark colors first. Gonna look for some of these tree areas. Those are the ones that are standing out. It's like a lot of brown. So everything's gonna be these probably on the red side of all the colors. So even when I'm mixing up a color, I usually mix up two colors for every one. I'm gonna probably slide them all over to the red side of things. So the first color, I'm gonna go with transparent oxide red. This is a great color. This is fabulous color. You can see it's like burnt
Sorry,
sienna.
is this like Terra Rosa? This is the one?
No, this is like burnt sienna.
Burnt sienna, okay.
Don't you mix up things. Okay. So I'm going to put that out. I'm going to put in just a hair of phthalo green. Just a hair of phthalo green into these colors. Because phthalo green will just knock these guys out really quick. So if you're doing burnt sienna, same thing. Watch it. Phthalo green will just tear it apart. It'll be phthalo green. You'll have a pile of phthalo green. So I would say over 3/4 transparent oxide and just a little bit of phthalo green to start with. You can always bring it in. That's pretty good. That's just a touch more. You're gonna probably blow right past it. Just got to get these guys. Man. There you go. I know I'm gonna blow that one. Yeah, shoot. All right. That's what happens. Think back. Brown. Shoot. Now I'll end up with a huge pile of green. Well, that'll get me in here. And then this one, I'm just gonna make sure this is on the red side. Definitely on the red side when I bring it down. And then this is slightly on the greener side. these colors should be really great when we add white to them. We should be able to get pretty much everything. We could almost do the painting in just these two colors. But we don't. We're not going to. We're going to do a few other things. I am also going to put out a little bit more phthalo green. And oxide red together. Because these two do make up some really nice things I think I can get in here, into the trees and stuff in with. And then I'm going to do pretty much the rest in a little bit of blue. These two colors, pretty much. That's it. A little more green in both these guys. This is my green side. Touch more. I'm going to keep that on the red side. Really, what these are going to be are my warms in the painting. These are my cools. You're going to find these in the trees and on the ground areas. You're going to find this in some of the dust and into some of the cactuses, things like that, into the horses. So the warms are going to be there, but then you're going to have the cools too. I'm going to take both those colors, same two reds, the transparent oxide and the regular oxide light, and do the same thing, but I'm going to do them in blue. With blue is my dark color. I'm going to go again with the oxide, transparent oxide, and blue. Ooh, that's a nice rich. This is like I was saying, burn umber. This is like burnt umber. You know how rich that is. So if you're working with burnt umber, you know, you're okay. You could probably paint this thing just with burnt umber. Burnt umber and yellow, maybe, and white. Maybe a touch of red. Burnt umber and orange probably would be perfect. Okay, so there we go. Making sure when these two, when I pull them down, that they are separate. This one could go a little bit more blue. I just want to make sure I have, palette space that I'm not my colors aren't too close to each other. I'm not wasting palette space, having too many colors. It's the exact same. And then my last two colors, really for this painting almost. I should be able to get this. And I'm going to be using a lot of all my other colors. It's just going to be blue again and oxide red light. So we're going to need one on the red side, one on the blue side. Definitely on the blue side. This is a little bit too much on the red side. I can always take it up, come back and add a few little bit if it gets, need more red in the painting. I can always come back and do that. Right now, I just want to make sure they're just a little more gray than that. Just a little bit too much red showing through. Okay, there you go. Now it's settled. So, as a limited palette, that's pretty much it. I just used oxide, transparent oxide, regular oxide, blue, and green. And now I'll just be taking these colors with white and taking them down here a little bit. And let's see what we got. I'm going to take these piles and split them in half. And sometimes when I add white, of course, these when you're working with green, that's probably going to jump through here pretty heavily, more than it needs to. So might have to come back and add in. Now I'm going to take these piles to the key value of the painting. And I said, that's pretty much about an 8. These horses, 7. Let's go 7. So I'm going to go to a 7 here. So I'm going to add just enough white to these guys to a 7. That is an 8. There you go. Just enough white. So to do that, it was like 3/4 color, just a little, and about a quarter white. Usually it's pretty much it. There's your green side. And like I said, usually green, it'd be a lot greener. I'm trying to keep it on this painting on the red yellow side. And as you can tell, see, that's where I was shooting for in these trees, that warmth. This is an 8. Don't mind it at 8. I think I'm going to leave it there. You can always lighten it up. These guys probably won't need quite as much. This is the green side. This is oxide transparent. No, this is oxide red light with phthalo green, and this is on the green side, but we are really kind of pushing the red side for this painting because it's very much like that. Again, this is at 8 or close to 9, so add enough white. Another step. And every time I add white, it cools off the paint, cools off the color. So now I get, this is pretty much a nice gray. Look at that gray. And again, that's just to 8 still. So let's take it down. We're just going to leave it at this kind of cool gray that it is. And bring back, see how the red side goes. And see if I have to add red to both of them or whatever. This is the red side. That red side is perfect. That is really good. That's an 8 though. Add enough white. So that's really good. So the gray, I'm going to leave this gray. I'm going to do what I'm just going to push a piece of these two together and make a mid-tone here, just a little bit more. In between, just have a little more red in this color without keeping it on the green. So I could see some of that green basically being highlights that color. Sometimes it's the subtleties that are really interesting.
Is that what's going to go in the top sky when you even lighten it further? Maybe.
This one,
Yeah.
I will see. I don't think so. I think it's going to go. I think it's probably going to maybe the green side.
Hmm.
Maybe. I was thinking it looks a little warmer than that.
See, your picture looks a lot orangier than my screen. Okay.
Yeah, my screen looks. I can pick up this top area up here in the screen. It is a lot cooler. It does have this closer to this. So I'm thinking about it. Just a little bit too far. But that might, we'll see. We'll see how the colors, how it reacts up there. Sometimes the red will come out too much, too strong in it. So. Is it blue and transparent oxide? There we go. That's a beautiful. That's almost like burnt sienna. That could be the color up there easily. Yeah. Just a little bit more blue on the side. The green makes definitely this would be good for that, but it might be just I might have just again blew past the 8 and made that a I made it a 5. All right, got to take almost all that color and make it back up. 1 second, that was blue and transparent oxide. Let's shoot the white out of there. Do the mid-tone here first, and then I'll come back and do the thing. You can see I got a lot of blue in that. Not a little warmer than that, which is good. I'm just gonna take a piece of this and come down here. There we go. I'm gonna leave it there. This one has basically almost pure transparent oxide with just a little bit of white and just a little bit of blue in my thing here. So don't know if how much I'll need that. Kind of nice. I can get a rich color like that. Maybe I can, have some fun and paint these guys with it. At least the base tone of it. Maybe it could be probably this horse color. Definitely. That's what happens. You're not paying attention. You blow past things. Boom. Same here. Blue and oxide red light. Keep it in its lane. Did not go very well. And I do the same thing I just did with the other side. Add more blue to it. Maybe not that much. Maybe I don't have to go quite. That's not going to be in here anyway. So it's going to be on the red side no matter what. Maybe I don't even need it. I'm just going to stop this. Not going to make it dark because I don't need it. I'm not going to use it. So I'll use it on the red side here. And this will be my blue side. And even on my blue side, I'm cheating it over to the red side. It's just a slight change because the blue is just going to could be a killer, but it could be a nice little spot on its back, or it could be green on its back. All right, so that's 3/4 of the painting. Everything else has to be some lighter colors. The lights. So we're just gonna take these guys, a little piece of each one of these guys. And that's just gonna do one there. And I'll do the blues and purples too. And I'm just gonna add enough white in here to make these guys probably up to a 3. Take them to a 3. So it's pretty much 3/4 white, 1/4 color. That is not 1/4. All right. I always missed that's closer to it. Closer to a 1 and 2 value. Take it. Close. That's close to a 3. Same thing. Let's get that putty color. That's closer to the value I need. Yeah, that's close to a 3. It's a touch more. I just don't need it quite that. I want to see a little bit of more color to it. Okay. Might not even be in here. And with these guys, just thank you. This one. This is the one we mentioned might be the sky. So just a little more red and green in it. A little bit more color. I did the blue part. I didn't do the green part here. Color. You can see that I am still very warm, cool on my palette. So hopefully some of these browns here, I might have to take a few different browns here and work them. I need a few more for this painting. This one might be really close. The blue and transparent oxide might be really great for the sky. The richer ones down in here might be pretty good for some dust. Still needs a little more yellow. But we have not added yellow. We're trying to hold off on too many colors. And then the oxide, light and blue, definitely in more purples. Yeah. Now we're just going to do a few just transparent oxide and white or burnt sienna and white. Okay, I'm going to have to add yellow. Add yellow to it and white and transparent oxide. And then I'm going to do, that's on the yellow side. Let's do a transparent oxide side and yellow. So it's not quite as far. And then add just a touch of white. That's perfect. That would have been as simple as you can do it, but you know, I want to make sure I explore the options I have. Yeah, these guys are probably not going to be in the painting unless I add yellow to it. So I'm going to take and go back to a couple of these guys and just see what happens if I add just a touch of yellow to them. This is probably going to go green. Yeah. This is probably gonna stay green too. So these guys aren't gonna do much. You might get things. These guys, I've added white down here and this pasty color, I might be able to use some of it. But it's just a little bit too much. Interesting. And then on the green side of that color, it's just gonna go a little funky too. It's just the green's gonna pop out a little bit much. But up here, I'm gonna look at this color too a little bit, just a touch more yellow into them. At the mid value, gets really close. That's just different. Okay, because the green's in it. Okay. Never know. You go through here and stuff. You could find a spot for it. I gotta go back and just make a little bit bigger pile. This painting is going to be go pretty quick. So getting the colors right and finding places I can put them, it's good. So these darker, the warmer ones are really going to work out fine. Don't think the dark versions of these guys should work out. But I don't really see too much of this other stuff in here. I'm going to warm that up too. That's pretty disgusting color on the palette. It just looks a little fleshy. It's nothing, it's gonna have to be warmer anyway. So, there you go. There's your sky right here. Maybe just a touch of more white into it, not by much. There it goes. Maybe. And then we pretty much have everything else. You can see I definitely could have went with just a few colors, but the class would be very short if I did that. Anything else I'm looking at? No. So I'm going to go through the colors. Up here we started off with transparent oxide, and there's a touch of phthalo green. And then on this one, just a little bit on the green side, a little bit more. And you see what happens. They come down here to about a 7 with white. Down here I added yellow to them. A little yellow to them. I don't think I added yellow to this one. Not enough. We're too close. Too close. Up here we have phthalo green and oxide red light. Coming down, you can see how gray they are. They kind of grayed out. I probably should push them on the red side a little bit more. Don't think it's really going to help. That colors. I'll be able to find a place for it. I don't think it's not as warm as what happens when you add a little bit of yellow to it. Trying to get the orange to pop out of there. Oh well. Anyway, over here we have blue and transparent oxide, and that turned out pretty good. The gray version might not get too heavily into the painting, but the red version's pretty good. I have a lot more red. Here I have just a little bit more blue in it. This color probably should have been over here with the blue and the thing. So it would have been a really nice change. So making it up, it works. They'll come in pretty heavily. And these guys, blue and oxide red light. a little bit too far on the cool side, even if when I go that far, and again, that it's still probably not far enough on the warm side. Down here, we took pieces of these guys and brought them down and added white to them to get them up to about a 3 value. A lot of them just we're going to stay too gray. So I added cad yellow to them, and they did come to life. Some of the purples will never get there. They're just going to turn into this stuff anyway. So it wasn't any use to do it. So I did, over here, we did transparent oxide and yellows. Transparent oxide and yellows did a really good job, you know, and then just added just a touch of white to them. Good ones to remember. One more I was looking at, just thinking out of my head, going, well, that's yellow, but do you cad orange in transparent oxide? I sometimes just experimenting. I'm going like, yeah, I haven't used that too much. See how that goes. So this is on the orange side. This is the side. Just a little bit of come down. I don't know. It might be too rich. So if we add white to it, maybe I'm just looking, going there. Maybe just a little bit still on the reddish side. Yeah. No, not really. But you never know when you start painting. Sometimes colors just change when they get laid together next to each other. So that's why I really kind of end up making all these colors, just because I know they work together. And at the end, when it is on the canvas, sometimes you put that against a gray, and all of a sudden, the orange will pop out. So gotta look at it a little bit. All right. So I went through the colors. I'm gonna try gonna go with transparent oxide for my I'm basically really hedging my bet. Transparent oxide or burnt sienna for my toning of the canvas. Burnt umber would work too. Do I want to go with burnt umber? No. See, this might be my burnt umber. That'd be really grayed out. I could gray it out and warm it back up. Just thinking out loud about my toning of the canvas, because it's the color, whatever color I put in is going to kind of go into everything else. And I'm going, if I put it in with that, it might not make a difference. If I put that in when I put warms over it, it might come out better. So I'm gonna try that. This is like burnt umber. If you have burnt umber, great. If you don't, I'm using my transparent oxide and blue mix. No. So instead of doing this, I'm just adding blue to it. So it's transparent oxide and just a little bit of blue. Gotta get the back in here. Back. This just a touch more in there. That's gonna be my toning color. If you have burnt umber, use burnt umber. But these are really good. That's almost just. All right. I'm gonna come back now. 1 second. Get everything up and running. I'll bring this in as close as I can because we've got a kind of a small canvas. All right. I'll try to keep that in There. I just got to be able to get my feet in here. That's about as far as I can go, guys.
Jim, did you ever paint with one of these natural canvases?
Yeah, I have. They're nice.
I'm feeling like I don't need to tone it.
You might not need to if you wanted some of that to show through. You probably they work out pretty good. They have just like a clear gesso,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah.
All right, I'll just leave it, I think.
Just draw it in. All right. Toning it. Gonna go a little crazy the tone. Oh boy, that's almost perfect for down here. All right, so that's good. I'm just gonna leave it heavy there and just keep it a little thinner as I go up, but have some fun with it. And we'll find out a few things too. Uh, just when you tone the canvas, how this color goes on and stuff tells you, what colors on my palette are going to kind of really be warms and cools. Sometimes they just decide to switch on me. They have more red in them than they look. And that's about the right color for the top too. Even value wise, when you wipe it out, you know. Okay. I'm gonna put it on a little thicker at the bottom now. Now it's toned. It's pretty much toned. I'm just gonna put it on a little thicker here and just get a little bit of strokiness to it. All right. So the first horse, that's one horse over here. I just definitely want him, you know, don't want to get him too close to the side here. So I want to be at least inch and a half probably away from the edge. And these horses, I'm never say where I even got this photo and stuff from. This is from a friend of mine, Susie Bell, and she takes photos of these wild horses out in Arizona. Uh, this is the Salt River horses. Uh, these guys are pretty famous. They, are wild horses right there, not too far from Scottsdale. So So that guy's pretty much going to be a silhouette. He's not going to be too much anything. Right now he's a moose. Get rid of it. And now he's an elephant. Not going to be too much anything. Then you got the tree going over it, but the tree comes from down in here. So I'm just going to bring that tree out a little bit. And then where the other horse is, bring him back. I said a little bit. I gotta get over here a little bit. Okay, a little too much to the side here. Forced me a little bit farther to the side than normal in this thing. So another horse painting for us. I know. I just like painting horses, and I love this one because Susie just really hit that so much atmosphere. It's more atmospheric than it is the horses. I mean, the horses are great in it. You know, they give a nice shape, but the dust and everything else that they are creating is so interesting. Here's a really tall sequoia here. Did I say sequoia? Not sequoia. Cactus. And it's going to have it's going to be almost silhouette-y. This color I have here. I'm going to just kind of put it in a little bit darker. I'm thinking even at this spot already where we are, this might be a really good tone for it. I just thought it was really cool that these special, I can't remember the name of these cactuses, but they are huge. They are like almost trees. So I should just move this over a little bit more. Okay. I'm not going to paint this tree in, and I'm not going to paint this tree in, any of that in first. Just wanted to get these uh, horses kind of indicated for myself. All right. A little more weight forward on that one. Okay. Well, I'm going to go and we're going to be zooming around a little different in mixing up our canvas here because we are going to paint the background first. Going to get all that moosh in there, just kind of knowing where the horses are going to end up being is nice. So I'm not too worried about touching them or anything else like that. So, um, we're gonna go some darker colors. We're gonna stay with this transparent oxide and phthalo green. This is on the transparent oxide side. So, and it's full strength dark. I'm gonna lay it into the very top of the dust here. I want that red at the edge of the dust. Then you just soften it a little bit. This is a kind of a painting about, edges that they're, you know, not really having any. So a lot more when I start laying that in, I can start to see how much more red is in this dust and everything. Okay, I'm going to start coming up with that color and come through the pretty much the top third of the painting up here. Bring that color roughly in there. And again, I'm not putting it in full strength, just got a little bit of oil in my brush. So, and I'm using the white of the canvas for everything else. I'm going to bring that around, just thinned out again. And if, you know, when I start the color again with more colors and stuff, look for little areas where it's going to be a little heavier in that color. So I don't, I can get my brush thinned out enough to come back down here and carry on. So it's a little bit heavier over on this side of the horse, over underneath the tree. I'm just going to blend it up a little bit too. Lose edges. Lose edges. One of the things, even that would be considered an edge. It's too hard. Smoke is a lot of blending. I'm going to come back in at the end and put in the bottoms of the trees. I'm not going to put them in now. So there's your basic block in pretty much of the painting. I'm going to tone it just a little bit more at the top of the painting. Maybe a little heavier over here. Got a little bush over here, kind of, or tree that's going to come over the sky here. Definitely we want everything under behind that on the sky has to be darker than this part of the sky, even though that they're at the same line, because the contrast of putting the dark over here is going to make that look brighter, and it'll probably brighten up to about the right value for this sky here, over here. This is pretty much how I paint water too. So, you know, edges pretty soft. Only kind of really, you know, push the edges, or when I'm doing, you know, waves or, yeah, waves. So a little darker on this guy here. Keep them on this side a little bit farther on this side. I could use it. It starts to come out there, but again, darker in here I could go. And again, this is just that first color, just trying to go as far as I can with this first color before and no white, just to get this thing settled up, matching up values. It's almost taking that, you started off with the black and white part of this and just did that, painted that and painted that basically with these two colors, probably work out just as good. Soften this line here a little bit. All right, that's the basics of it without the trees in the back there, without using white, just using lightness there. Okay. Gonna go here. This is the green side of it. Yeah, as you can see, the green side is this tree back on this side. That's why I wanted to get that stuff in there real good. Uh, and I should be using a bristle brush instead of this big bristle brush. I don't really want it kind of scuffed up. That, how I had to work it like that. This guy's gonna just be a little bit more like this. He's gonna work a little bit better. So this is a bristle brush. This is oxide, transparent oxide and green on the green side. No white yet. Just doing the scrub trees here. Bringing it down. Probably have to revisit this through at the end. So we're just going to get the basics on that one. Going to start this guy over here too, probably. Well, this area here is really from this back tree, this color here. Not much shade. These trees don't give out much shade, I bet. Very dusty. Okay. I don't want to get too far because I'm going to have to come back in and paint things into here. So I'm going to stop there with that color and go over to the next one. Next one is blue and transparent. Oh, wait, that's not it. Sorry. So we jumped past the colors. Phthalo green and oxide red light. Gosh, I think this is probably going to end up being this tree down in here, and a lot of the tree here, especially on the red side. I'm going to hold off on this color too because it's just a little. I'm not going to go these colors yet. I'm going to finish painting the background. Sorry, gonna. If I put that in, I'm going to have to paint around all the twigs and everything else like that. I could put it in quite easily over some of this paint. So I'm going to have to shoot down, clean out my bristle brush. I'm going to use a bigger bristle brush. Clean it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go over here to some of the last colors we made were oxide red and yellow. Transparent oxide red. And I want to work those in here and get this middle tone. Here's the red side, transparent oxide. It's going to go up towards the top. As you can see, this is, that really nails this stuff up here. Gonna have to probably come back in here and paint right around where this tree is here. I'm going to start with these things and then keep adding, I think. This does have white in it. So this is transparent oxide, cad yellow, and just a touch of white. And then in the trunk of the tree, even though I put it in pretty gently, but probably could have went a little heavier. Basically, I just want to get that form, coming up. I'm probably going to add some paint to that too as we go. So this is just the orange side basically, and then I'll come in with the yellow, which is pretty much the insides of this things here, and just help it get everything. Again, nice bristle brush, soft one too, because so we can just have that little blending, but not. There's a lot of nice marks left in it. What I'm saying is, it's not too stiff. It's not too old of one. It doesn't have a lot of. Sometimes these bristle brushes they catch a lot of dirt in them that stays there, and just gets a little clogs up these all the tines a little bit. So this is just slightly a newer one, and so it hasn't gotten that point. Okay, so there you go. There's the starting to get some of the smoke in. I'm going to feed this color up a little bit into the top here too. So some of these greens I do got to put in here will have this color in them. And just like this, like I did fill it in pretty strongly here, this bush here. And I'll come back in and put in everything else to it. This is working pretty good. It probably could have went darker. I'm going to come back to my home values of and darken in this guy a little bit more coming down. Catch these guys and just get it to ghost into here, into this smoke here, so it feels like it just, the two came one at this one spot here. Probably go just a hair darker with that. So this is transparent oxide, green, a little bit more green side now. Pretty much pure again. Just get that. Yeah, I probably should have started off with the background. I usually never do. I usually start with the darks first, so it's just a little different than, but it only makes sense because it's all smoke, and if you don't get that in right, everything else is, not going to work. So I'm just going to clean out my brush as I go here a little bit where a few spots up here I can see where it's going to be. Get a little bit of this going in here. All right, clean it out a little bit more. And I'm going to go to the yellow white side. And that should help. Let me see how this goes. And that's pretty much it right here for the smoke. Comes up here around this horse here. I'm gonna have to redraw him in and then figure out things. Then I have at least some nice choices to be made about where branches go, because a lot of times I just hate putting a branch through the middle of something I painted because it's just usually just goes in the wrong spot and never looks good. So I'm just bringing that up. That could go a little bit lighter. So I might go with a little bit more yellow to it. But that would be just in here. And there we go. Then I'll just keep it a little bit redder on this outside here. And I might even, this over here, I might use this cad red part, cad red and oxide for some of the smoke over here because it has just a touch more red in it. I'm gonna probably have to cut out the things here, but yeah, that feels good. That feels about right. I've been finding cad red in a lot more things too these days, or cad red, but cad orange. So it's always so it's just like one of those things. One of those colors I just never have. I've used it for things, but I've just never tried to let it take hold in a painting. Usually cad red is a better one for that. But I've been finding lately that it has its place. Sometimes just cad orange with just white in it has a nice cooling warmth. All right, so I put that cad red orange in here. Now I'll come back with a little more yellow into that color. It'll be good. Let me add that in first before I get going here. A little more white and just a little cad yellow more. Pretty close, but just that one. Yeah. Probably could have just a little more yellow with it. Work that into this in here, just coming through here. So this is hopefully where the horse is going to go, right in there. He's going to be a lot of cools going into him. So now that I have a little bit, lighten this up, just a few spots. There you go. There's a quarters of it. Just again, soft edges. All right. I'm going to come back in and draw in the horses a little bit. I'll probably use a little bit of a synthetic here. I'm going to do it with a oxide. Go back to my darks here. Go back to trans oxide red and phthalo green here. Start with a belly here, just coming through here. They do have really pretty thin legs. These guys do. Shouldn't be any more than that. Again, I'm just doing this as a, probably should do it on the red side now. If I'm gonna do their feet, definitely be on the more on the red side. See, that's even not even enough red. Yeah, the red's not showing through. Okay, I just had to put in just a touch of CAD red into it, get to get the things to show through a little bit. Basically, I've been doing stick figures almost in their legs. Uh, Getting the basic shapes and stuff, and then coming back and giving them their width, their weight, thickness. You know, make sure they're not that one. But the thing is, also going to use a lot of the atmosphere to soften things. So So this is still a lot more cad red into this color even. Did not have that in the pile. Making sure that nose doesn't get too far. Always using a brush that's too big for the job. One of the things is making sure those legs can drop down straight from the shoulders. Okay. Figure I was going to bring in the ground up to these guys. Same on the other side, probably should be able to get away with this guy. I'm going to move him, like I said, out a little bit. He's going to be a little bit lower. I said about an inch and a half from the side here. He should be smaller. We should probably easy to fix him up. I am using a blue and oxide red here, transparent oxide red. Pretty much full strength. Going over some of this light stuff. This is on the red side. Just building it up. Okay. So that's sort of drawn in. There's roughed in at least. Yeah. Just trying to keep that horse just a little bit bigger yet, but I think it's when I put the white on it, a little bit coolness on it, it will pop. And this guy should shrink down a little bit better. And then I can start to figure out the rest of everything else. A little too dark. This is going to be way too dark. That's too dark. Okay, well, that's my darks right there. I'm pretty much done. Everything going to go down to the mid tones here. Let me see what this color does. I'll tell you what it is. It's closer. Yeah, it's closer. This is going down. It's oxide, transparent oxide, and phthalo green. It's on the green side with a little bit of white to about a 7. I'm going to be painting this guy, this horse, basically with a lot of that. Just like make sure I get his back a little bit. So I did paint him in red. Now I'm coming back in. That's mostly for his feet, to tell you the truth. His big body here has a lot of green in it. But I don't want to wipe out all the red, though, I put in there. Okay. That looks like a nice elephant. Um, Let me check. I'm going to look for the coolness in it. Just try a nice gray instead. Sometimes a gray against yellow will turn blue. Like that one did. But if it was lighter, here's the light version of it. Yeah. See, it turns, that's green and oxide red with blue and with white in it. And you can see it just turns blue in here. Instead of using blue, I'm going to use that color. And then the red turns into kind of a purple, which would be great for its forehead and nose. And then just add a little bit to its back haunches here. And start to gray this guy out just a little bit. I'm leaving the feet very red, but just in these shoulders and slightly into the body. Tone it down a little bit. There we go. I've got to come back and get a drawing right, but the basics color wise, that's what I'd want. To be a little bit of highlight coming in here too. So really those mid-tones did the job on this painting. Also, his mane here is a little more mid-tone. And it is a little bit warmer green, so basically back to the oxide and blue, or oxide and phthalo green. Into that mane there. And tail wise, just it's gonna be fuzzed out. So that's not too bad. That can be start to work for this horse. You're not going to get too much more. Now it's just going to try to get all the other subtleties in. So we got some big trees in. We got that in. This horse has been moved over a little bit. So I want to see about putting into this tree. I'm going to put it in like a little bit farther, twist it away from this guy a little bit. You know, use some of these things to kind of echo around this guy. So like little broken branch in the main stalk, just above his head a little bit, point almost even with the back hump type thing. I'm just gonna move some paint though. So we got, this is white paint, a lot of white paint in it. So if I push the paint over here so I have back to canvas, I'll be good. And I still want to get this tree to the side here. I don't want to take them too vertical. So I want it a little more diagonal so I can, get them over to that connect up there. So the basic trunk I cleaned out where I have a lot of that. There's some really kind of neat things with this thing too. This tree is just really, bounds in different directions. All right, so this tree. I'll reach up there and there. Okay. So just really, just the main ones on this guy. This one doesn't need any. Just this one is one of the darker trees, but I don't want to get it. There's still, even when I scrape the paint away, there's still paint in here, white paint in here. So this isn't going to go too strong. But I'd like to have a nice bristle brush, put it in with. And like I said, one of the colors I was going to put it in with is green, phthalo green, and oxide red light. Pretty much the darkest you can get it. Very top colors. Should be able to do it. All right. Yeah, more red into it now. Yeah, a little more red up there. So it's more on the red side than the green side. And thing with trees and stuff, they grow their growing season for limbs and stuff. You can see it where they kind of stop. It's like one growth of the season, and then so there's not too many straight lines. They might feel like they go straight, but they kind of go. It's a short turn, really. I mean, short amount straightness, and then they turn, turn, twist. And reaching out, looking for sun. Thicker at the bottom here. And then you just get thinner and thinner as they go, too. So, yeah, just in case you. Weird thing is, some things just come out at just goofy angles. You know, you wouldn't expect a branch to come from that spot, you know. But the Right. That's about sort of it for this tree. I mean, there's a lot more little things to do, but a lot of the stuff here has to wait. We have to wait for to put in the rest of the tree here. I'm going to come over to this other side. I'm going to go to the uh, blue side of this color, almost the color I did the horse in, and do the outsides of this area here. You know, maybe just a little more. Yeah, a little more red into it, a little more white and red into it. So this is at the bottom. This is like a 7, but it's really on the red side. And it just basically a transparent oxide with just a little bit of blue and mostly transparent oxide in it, or burnt sienna, if you know. Depends on who you are. But that's going to come through here. Tree up here. So I'm going to let the body of the tree here, the leaves and stuff, cover up a lot of the branches. Again, I'll put in the branches, a few of these branches at the end, more than coming in here because of they just gonna be tough to paint around. Especially when I got basically the skies got to come in here. I am going to come back and touch this guy up a little bit more down in here. Then bring out the dead tree down in here. Now, going over white. So it's every time I put it in, it just kind of blends out. I could start to add some leaves back in here with that. And over here, we're going to start putting in those. Let me see about this color here. Well, I was going to put these guys in. That definitely could go in here. All right, I'm going to put the sky in first before I go into that, pulling in the sky in. See what color I thought that was. Oh, it's a little dark and a little gray. That's closer. Uh, this is basically oxide, transparent oxide with white and a little bit of green in it. It's on the oxide side again. So you see, could definitely painted this with just, a couple colors. Should have a little cleaner brush for it, but that's okay. We need to have a little bit of mush going in here. So that's, you can see, I'm going to keep it a little warmer. Over on that side. It was a little cool. Maybe we'll add just a little more red to it. All right. Over a little bit back to a little bit bigger brush, bigger bristle. Big bristle, yes. And put in these the leaves on this tree and come back here and put these guys back in a little bit. And this should start to change it a little bit. I mean, yeah, we've got a lot of work, couple strokes down in here to put in, but getting there pretty quick. These are going to be ones with yellow, a little bit more yellow in them. Let me see, this is kind of a cooler green. There's one spot right here that has a little bit of coolness to the green. This is probably just catching a little shadow of some sort. And putting it in with a bristle brush with a
That was my question. A bristle brush. Okay.
bristle brush, softly grab back in here, not too strong. So we're just basically slightly dabs and pushes. And that's going to go on here, and then we're going to warm it up as it comes up. Yep. This color here just came from, this is phthalo green, oxide red light, and on the green side, I have had just a touch of yellow in it. And so it's just a touch. That's why you got to kind of feel like there's this blue coming out of it because it's going against this orange. Okay, I'm going to keep that there. And then I'm going to go down here a little bit going to go to the yellow side, a little bit more yellow in that. On the red side, let me see that how that does. That should come in here. Yeah, it's going to start. As we drift up, it's going to come in. I got to clean my brush because I really need to be a little lighter. You see this? This is my. Sometimes you have to go way light because it's going to dirty up so quickly. This is basically this. Oh, this is okay. This is transparent oxide and touch of phthalo green with white in it, pretty much to a 3, and then I added yellow to it, and that gets me to this area here. And so these are just slight mixes, not too much. The top of the trees get the main color, first shot of color, and then I can drift down and paint the rest. I mean, paint other areas and let the colors bleed together a little bit. Kind of like I did here. Okay. Needs to come down just a little bit more. This is one of those trees, the scrub trees that are, have leaves going. It's a lot of tiny little leaves. So it's always a pain in the butt. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit warmer. Start to get these guys down in here a little bit. Then it's coming back and just softening edges. The hardest edges will be on these silhouette type of trees here and the horses. So everything else should be, well, these guys too a little bit. I'm going to switch down to a little bit different bristle brush now and just paint in this last sequoia back here. Or not sequoia. What are these? Oh, brush is not holding together. Almost have to put in with the synthetic because of the brush just falls apart. sometimes the easiest thing, the simplest thing you wanted to do comes too complicated. A little too much work. All right. I'm going to be putting basically, I'm going to put in the bottom land a little bit. I am going to come back with a synthetic for this because I just need to kind of make an edge, a little bit of here, just a little darker. And this again, red. Let's see, I'm going to go with blue and transparent oxide, I think. I didn't even put in that back tree yet, too. Shoot. So it's going to be on the red side and then a little bit more on the blue side. Oh, that's close, but it's just a little bit too blue. Just a little bit too much blue in this color here. Don't like it. Should have been on the red side of that. So this is blue and uh, oxide, transparent oxide, mostly on the transparent oxide side with a little bit of white. It just cools it off, just gives it grays it out. But then you've got to have some warmer spots yet coming back in here. So you got to come back and add, just make sure you got more transparent oxide in it. It's almost pure transparent oxide with a little bit of white. That's what I'm using now. Goes right up to the horse's hoofs here. This guy. Gonna put this other tree in with this color. It's just a little bit lighter. So the front tree, I put it in with warmer colors. I put it in with green and oxide red. The back one, I'm putting it in with blue. And what's an oxide red? It's transparent oxide. But it has just more in the gray side of it. So it's, we didn't go towards too blue. I can get that back in here and keep the space going, color perspective going right. Again, not too many, pulling back my limbs and stuff on this thing, so I'm really not touching the horses. Like I said, I can always do that later, but I don't want to. I need to be in front of it. I need to know what's going on design wise before I do that. Now, there's a little bit of some more drawing that needs to be done here. But that I painted this guy with pretty much the same color I painted the ground here with. I think it's a little too cool, you know. I think that should be on the green side. Let me try that. No, that's not gonna work. Let's try. That's better. That's better. That is basically what I painted these guys with up here. Values are just very tight. That's all. And that green kind of goes to a blue. No, could have probably just painted this thing, found a way. I mean, would have been able to go with transparent oxide and just blue phthalo green and painted this thing. But sometimes you gotta explore. Then I'll put in the rest of these limbs and stuff in a little bit, but this is a pretty good spot. Just trying to find just little areas in this smoke to make pop through here a little bit. Get a little bit of light coming in here to their feet. Transparent oxide, just a little bit lighter. Oh yes, a little bit lighter. Maybe just a touch more transparent oxide in it to give it some redness. I'll have to come back in and really just, figure out these feet a little bit better. Just and blend everything out a little bit more. Too much out of there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's about time. I'll bring it in. You know, definitely gonna have to come back and get in front of it and push a few of these colors around and put in limbs, more limbs and more stuff. You know, and then go back in here, make soften edges. Just making sure each one of these guys are soft enough. Now, definitely have to work on the faces probably a little bit. Always something to do. Things there. All right. We are there. Let's I'll bring it in. I mean, you're as pretty close as I can get anyway, but that's let me see. Turn this down. And get in a little closer to the guys. Yeah, it's not gonna focus probably even that far close. Anyway. I'll take a good picture of it. And we'll talk. Trying to keep the warmth in it and stuff. Sometimes this area got a little too cold. Still got a little bit of a little warmth that has to go in there, but it's starting to work. A little bit more work to do. Okay, let's see what you guys have done. Kathleen's up. Turn on your stuff, and we'll come. I'll come find you and criticize it.
Okay, I had to switch to my phone because my iPad started dying.
Okay. Second. Just clean my fingers here. Not working. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay. That's a oh, there you go. Now you can see yeah. It's a little cool, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a light. That's the weirdest thing is, in your studio, making sure you have correct lighting because, you're mixing your colors and all of a sudden you take them outside and all of a sudden the colors change dramatically.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could paint outside.
Yeah.
Instead of down here.
Well, tell Jack to build you something. A little lean-to. He'll do it.
Okay. I'll work on it.
You can do that. Okay.
It looks pretty light here. I mean,
Yeah.
but-
You're gonna have to, as you go, just bring in some of the darks. That's the thing is where we started. We started from the light side and then working back. It's all midtones. So yeah, I'll have to use a little bit stronger color because you'll be mixing it in with the whites. The trees I love the way the trees are going in. They just have some lot of life to them. The horse, I like the white horse. I mean, I like the little, spot of coolness on them. Just that little spot always look. That's one of the things that drew me to this painting is just because of the warmth, and that just a few spots of coolness in the painting just add, I thought, wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Cool combination. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a neat combination. Your trees are looking really good. I think, yeah, your cactus probably could be a little bit thicker. It looks
Okay.
a little thin. But it's always a good way to start thin and then work them a little bit fatter instead of starting fat and trying to thin them out. Usually you never have enough paint to thin them out.
Okay.
Good.
I'll
Colors looking really good at the bottom too. I like the color of the ground there.
Yeah, I was just kind of playing around with it, but I'll keep working on it and hopefully.
Yeah, no. Yeah, your edges are looking good too. You're really good job on your edges so far. Nothing jumping at me too much. So
all
good
right.
job.
Well, it's kind of fun. It's something really different than we've done. So
yeah. Different size too. I'm glad you had a long, skinny one.
yeah, I've had them waiting. So
Okay, good.
all right. Thanks.
We'll use them again sometime.
Okay, I'll put it on when I get done.
All right, we got Colorado Karen. Let's see, she painted with us. Hey, there she is. How you doing, Karen? Can't hear you. Even though your mic says it's on, I can't hear you. Not much light. Okay, yeah, you did the other version, which is good. It's a good version to do. Okay, yeah, I can barely make out anything, Karen. I wouldn't, but I can see the horses. They look what you should be able to draw a horse, right? Yeah, she can draw horses. She has a couple of them through her days. And the tree looks good. Just take a good picture of it and put it on the Facebook, and we'll just I can give you a better critique there at least. I don't want to say something that's going to hurt it, but it looked pretty good. Good to see you again. All right, we'll go with Shar. There's Shar. Good. She had a long, skinny one.
Okay, let's see. Get the light.
Look at this. You just can't draw a horse, can you? Not at all. You have big problems there. Those are nice horses. You just have a nice feel for those guys. Really graceful. And they feel really good. I would say you're probably going to have to add a little more warmth to them, and just to soften them up a little bit for space. Right now, you got that your red horse is jumping forward so much because of the contrast in the reds and stuff. So you're going to have to lighten him up a little bit, and and the big cactus there too. He's going to need it's adjustments. You're going to just got a little bit of more adjustments to make.
Well, I saw that your cactus was lighter than mine, and I think I'm going to just wipe a little off rather than try to lighten it with paint. I think I'll wipe some off and then try to make it softer. But I noticed that my cactus was way.
I think it's just a place. I think it's just where it comes down. If you lose a little bit more of it going up, about a half an inch, kind of where that twig comes off the other side, one side of it. Just a little smoky, some use the dust to dust it up there. I think then it will fall back into space. It will fall back farther. Right now it's jumping up just a little bit too flat. It's kind of flattening out the painting because they're all the horses in that thing are at the same level line a little bit. Yeah, that helps.
Does that help at all?
That helped a
Okay.
little bit. That helped a little bit. That
Okay.
pushed it back. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, that's wow. I like the way he handled the trees on the one side too, and the ground is looking good.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to finish up.
Yeah, I think you should, definitely finish it up. That's some I love the blue, you kind of have that blue gray mark in the behind the tree there and stuff. Now is that that is the leaves kind of gonna go in and stuff?
Yeah, I think I'd like to put more limbs in, but I don't want it to get too busy. So I need to figure out how to put them in really like light silhouettes.
Yeah, yeah. It's really
Yeah.
watch yeah. I end up putting mine in with my knife because I'm better with my knife.
Oh, okay.
But then when I do that, you got to watch the value of the color used. You got to take it down, make it, can't let it be too contrasty because it will stand out really quick too much. So watch, always watch it. Keep, don't let them get away from you. You got the
Mhm.
basic darks now. Everything has to, the smaller limbs can be a lot lighter. And you don't
Yeah.
have to paint them all in. Don't paint them all in either.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
No,
Thank
the
you.
reason I was asking you about the blue thing behind there, about you're a little bit on the cooler side there.
Here.
Yeah, I was going, God, that'd be cool if that was like a mesa or something like that. One of these, rocks and back way back
Yeah.
there and stuff, because those are there all over the place. So
Yeah.
if you could see that through a little bit of the thing, I was like, wow, way to take it, Char. Way to take it to that spot. I mean, kind of that blue, kind of just like, wow, that's really nice against the warmth and things. But that if you weren't doing that, then no, because
Well, I did put more of a purpley color over here because that side is cooler.
yeah,
And so I put a little purple over here to kind of tone down this color over here.
you did,
So,
you did.
yeah.
It gets really cool. It's a nice, really fabulous start.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, we did Kathleen. Kim. Here comes Kim. And then we got Lisa Garrett, Sarah. To turn on your cameras, and that's it. All right, that's it. We should okay. There. Oh, she's been holding it up for an hour now.
No.
Good
No.
job on that. Look at that red horse back there. I mean, he's in a perfect spot. And he's value on him is really, really good. He doesn't jump. He jumps forward, but not quite, too much. The tree comes before him, and your other course is coming along pretty well. Thin him out a little bit and getting in his neck and little things like that, but not too bad. That's really good, really good. He almost feels like he's back and a little bit farther back though. It's good job on the warmth. Yeah, really nice job all the way around, Kim. That's a pretty good tree there. And
I don't really know how to finish those trees.
yeah, I would say from here it's all delicate. Even when you get draw them out as well as you did with the limbs and stuff, sometimes you got to go back and just like everything else and fuzzy them out a little bit. But I usually like to do that with a little bit more of the green of the tree itself, or the leaves and stuff. You want to lose parts of the sticks, so you have leaves, cover them up.
Do I need more sticks or is that enough sticks? Probably a few more tiny ones with the palette knife, maybe.
You might need a couple little more, but not too many, right?
Okay.
And then just when you soften them, they're gonna break off in a little bit, kind of like you did on the one branch above the horse over there, the red horse. You can start to see it kind of smooshes out a little bit, and that also helps. You don't want to focus there, so you do want to keep them a little bit where you can see on the one branch, by the green clump of leaves up there, you can see that the branch is really defined a little bit too much, and just defining more than what anything I could see on the horses and stuff. So it's stealing a little bit too much thing. So yeah, that's where you go back and you soften those guys just a little bit. You find out the softening is probably, more makes it more exciting too. But you do got to draw it out before you soften it. So
Okay.
yeah.
And how about this light business over here where my finger is? Does it look a little bit, does it need to blend a bit more?
No, I
No.
like the way you handle that.
Okay.
And I like the way you're handling that. That's it really feels good. And
Okay.
everything, that
All
feels
right.
real nice. Good sky, colors, combination, softness is going in there. Drawing's good and solid. So,
Okay. Thank you.
don't mess it up. Hey, Lisa. Lisa, did you paint?
Hey, yeah, no, well, I painted, but unfortunately, I'm still working on that commission. So I didn't get to paint with you guys, but I had to listen in because I love the photo. I love everybody's paintings, looks great. And I can't wait to get to do that. Right now, I have a 5-foot commission I'm working on, and I have no room
Yeah.
for another easel. So I don't have anywhere to paint right now.
Well, you
But
got to get done with that commission. Get that money. Come on. Make that money.
This weekend it will be finished, and I will be able to get back in and catch up, hopefully.
Well, what's your commission on?
It's a mountain scene with some bears. It's a acrylic painting. And it's going. We have a rail trail in the area that it's a trail, and they've got a kiosk that they're going to put this on one side, and then the other side of the kiosk will be information about the trail and flowers and wildlife and things like that that's in the area. So
I can see why it has to be acrylic.
yes.
And stuff like that, and
Yeah.
then put a couple of good color varnish on top of it to keep it from
Exactly.
weather ruining it.
Yeah. My varnish just came in. UPS just delivered. So so hopefully next weekend it will be out of here, and I will have a space to paint on. So
Well, at least you're painting and stuff. That's the good thing, and you're making money. You'll be a rich lady here real soon.
I don't know about that, but I still am looking forward to get back and painting this. This was and everybody's paintings looks wonderful, so I can't wait. So
They did well. They did well so far. Okay. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you. You take her easy. Now we'll see how Sarah did. She'll finish it up for us, and we'll see how she did. See if she holds up her end.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got a ways to go.
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I like the mutedness is really cool. I think you got to push the yellows and the oranges a little bit more on the top of the smoke. There's the smudginess, and maybe that's what I'm thinking, and that could be the video, but that's a little bit more warmth in that area right there. I love the tree and how the tree goes into the cactus up there. That's gorgeous. That's a fabulous mark. I mean, that's what I was trying to do, and yours turned out well. That's good. And I was thinking the other cactus on the other side, probably a little thicker, a little bit. And then, good job on the horses so far. I still got a little bit of work to do on them, don't we? Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And then really start to soften in the ground into the smoke. And good job on the tree. The tree's feeling pretty good.
Okay.
It's on the right spot. You got a good block in for you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's
All right. Any questions you have?
No, everybody asked a whole bunch of good questions, so I already took a bunch of notes. So
Did
you? Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
I appreciate it.
All right. Make sure how long I can get you to hold that painting up above your head. All right. Thank you. That's real nice. But I was saying right in this area here, you could probably get a little more warmth. That's that burnt sienna type in yellow going in there, just shoving it in there a little bit stronger before you get too far, because you got the horses drawn out and everything's just, before you start putting in twigs and anything else, guys, before you put in the twigs, make sure the colors, you are color corrected. You do got the warmth in there right the way you like it and everything else before you put those guys in, because they just, when you to do it the other way, you're just going to be touching those things and making a mess. So they go in at the end, and that's where you got to be. Also, the signature, where you sign. See a nice clean area. Think about that. Also, one of the things, guys, dust. When you get this thing done, if you can do it even before it dries, getting those little pixie dots in here in groups of 3 going around, that will really help. And especially when you got a dead tree like this, putting a little dots into it in spots like that really add in more interest to this thing. And it kind of brings you into all these little transparencies I've done, where you can't see them or you won't, but I can draw more attention to them by just putting a dot there. Just adds that secondary little thing to it that makes more interesting. So anyway, well, that's what we had for this week. A little horsing around today. Next week, I gonna be sort of, I thinking kind of more of a still life-ish thing. It's flowers, still life type thing, but it's not really a still life. It's from outside. So that's what I was thinking. It's really nice. Looks same colors as we did here. So it should be, so save your colors. No, just kidding. It'll be different. But that's what I have planned for you next week. Doesn't have to be a long vertical or horizontal. It's just going to be a regular canvas. So that's it. So, all right, guys. You guys have a great weekend, and we got a couple more classes left. So good. We're good.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Last weekend, I worked the Quest for the West down at the Idle George. Do they charge you to enter that? You ought to enter that.
I didn't know about it. Yeah. Next time I'll enter it.
Well, I worked both Friday and Saturday night because on Friday night they have what's called the Small Works, and people get to take them home that night. So if you don't work Friday night, you don't get to see any of those. And then Saturday they have the big show and sale. And I think, dogs are part of the West, and you do horses and you do dogs, and I think you ought to try getting in that.
I just never seen, that's the thing, is one of the things, I just never seen the call for it.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. If you and Becky wanted to come down and see the show, so it's here till October 5th. Let us know. Brad and I'll take you out to dinner or something. But they have, of course, they have cowboy stuff, but they have a lot of wildlife, but no one's doing dogs. And I think a dog or two would sell, especially something like a border collie or something that's more of a, what you think on
a working dog. Yeah.
But there was a guy had watercolors, had, a team of horses.
Yeah.
I mean, right up your alley. It was, and not a lot of wildlife, but, combination cowboys, cowgirls, horses, wildlife, a few kind of Western landscapes and stuff.
Yeah.
You should enter that. Yeah, because I worked for Alan Smith this year, and he's the son of Daniel Smith, who's pretty
Oh,
known. Yeah.
yeah,
I
the
met,
paint.
I met
paint
Jill. I met Jill Sukup,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another guy that I see in the magazines all the time. His name's Brad Tier.
Mm.
Does that ring a bell? His stuff is fantastic, and are all landscapes.
Ah,
But I think your dogs and a few horses, you should enter it.
I do get them in Western shows all the time.
Yeah.
So, what was the name of that one?
It's called Quest for the West, and they just
Huh?
had, so, pretty soon they'll, I don't know how you get in it. I don't know if you contact them and they send you an application, or I don't know how you apply for it.
Yeah.
I'm just a lowly volunteer.
You never
I
know.
I don't know how that works.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Quest for the West. I'll try to remember that. No worries.
Yeah. You should really do it. You really should. You'd fit right in.
Well, I got a painting in right now in Indianapolis there
Oh, really?
at the James R. Ross gallery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They got it's the national no apps national show. and stuff.
Okay.
So I got a big painting in there. So
Well, the nice thing, you're not that far away. Some of these guys
Pretty
fly
off.
from
yeah, not bad.
Colorado and Montana. You guys could, drive down, and it's 2 nights. It's the small works sell Friday night, and then those go home, and then the show is Saturday. It opens Saturday, and people come in and buy. And then, but those have to stay at the museum for a month, and then they release them to the people buying. But
So it is a big show. Okay, yeah, I do
Yeah.
those kind of. Yeah, that's the way this no apps is too. But they don't have the small works. They have are wet paints
oh, okay,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You should do it. I mean,
I'll definitely look into it.
How-
Yeah.
how many people have owned golden retrievers?
Right.
Probably half the people that were there buying.
You were there.
Yeah, but I couldn't afford anything.
Yeah, not those things. I know they have some really top talent there. That sounds like really good people. So
Well, I think you fit right in with those. And like
Yeah,
I said,
thanks.
the dog, there's no one doing dogs at all. And, so, and a good percentage of them, like the small works, I think they had 50, and I
Ooh.
think 48 out of 50 sold that first night.
Wow. I hate to be those two that everybody goes.
Well, what they do is they hang on to those. They hang
Yeah.
on to those and, sell them later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about it. Find
I
out.
will. Thank you. Thanks for mentioning it.
Okay.
All right, girl.
We'll see ya.
Yeah, we'll see ya.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.